I kind of just wanted to talk like philosophy of things today.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I kind of just want to build this from the ground up. My whole idea about this.
Yeah.
My mental health has been struggling.
Okay.
Right. I've been going to therapy.
Okay, that's good.
It's been very helpful.
Good to hear.
One of the things that I realized is that a lot of the D&D content out there, which I find fun, is also very serious.
It's true.
And even when you get something like Dimension 20, which is kind of like a happier version of Critical Role, it still like gets very lore heavy.
That's true. Yeah.
Gets like pretty serious. You have to watch a lot of episodes to catch up. And so I really liked. I went back. I watched the first season of Fantasy High.
Okay, gotcha.
And I watched the like early episodes of Critical Role. They were still on Geek and Sundry. They had a bunch of technical issues.
Okay.
But they were like still eating at the table.
Yeah.
It had a different vibe to it than what it does now.
Yeah, more like the kind of like casual for fun kind of vibe.
Yeah. Most of the time that I find myself looking for D&D content, it's when our D&D session has been canceled. And I'm like, I miss that feeling.
That's fair, yeah.
Of being around the table with my friends. And I've tried a bunch of other smaller channels, and I still don't get that feeling of sitting around the table with my friends.
Is that because they're trying to be too corporate, like... Okay.
Yeah, everyone's kind of doing like the Tricam setup in either one of two ways, right? Either in the Critical Role way or in the Dimension 20 way, where it's like you have all three cameras on screen at the same time, like Critical Role, or you have it jumping back and forth like Dimension 20. And there's people that are sitting around a table, but it's still kind of like really produced.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
And so the gap that I'm seeing is kind of like your home game. Like you don't really get that feeling of we're kind of just going with the flow. We're making stuff up. The things don't really need to be lore accurate. Even when you get to like people's homebrew worlds, the lore goes pretty deep.
Yeah, of course.
And again, like I said, you have to watch like 50 episodes to catch up and make it make sense.
Yeah.
And so this goes all the way back to the pandemic. Blake and I were thinking of starting something. And it never really worked out. And so that's part of why I wanted to rebrand the channel, because the channel that I've been working off of is another rebrand of the channel that Blake and I had.
Gotcha, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And so the one and only video that we have of Blake, because we only got like 3 videos deep, is on that channel.
Oh.
And so part of me is like, I want to have fun, and I want to honor my friend in this way.
Yeah,
because,
of course, yeah.
Like, this is something that he wanted to do, and he was taken from us. And so that's part of why this has kind of come up recently.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of things. And that's why it kind of ended up being really meaningful to me to sit down and have this conversation of like, how could we make that possible? How could we make it fun? And then also, if other people like it, then that's a bonus.
Yeah, of course, right, yeah.
Yeah. And so my kind of priorities, the philosophy behind it is I want to have fun making D&D content that I wish like I could watch.
Okay.
You know, like I see the gap. I wish I could watch it. It's not there, so I should make it.
Okay.
You know?
Makes sense, yeah.
And then the second part is honoring our friend, you know? And then the secondary benefit is like, hey, if we can make something of this, then that's great.
Right, it's like a byproduct rather than the goal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, yeah.
And that took a lot of pressure off of me, because I was having a little bit of anxiety about it.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's like, man, the D&D market is so saturated, but I really feel like I found a niche.
Yeah.
And I want to do something about it, but it's kind of intimidating. And I'm like, okay, well, if my goal is to have 1 million subscribers, then yeah, that's really intimidating.
Yeah, exactly.
But if my goal is to have fun and to honor our friend, then it's different. It makes it worthwhile, even if no one watches it. Even if I just go back and watch it on my own, then I'm like, yeah, that was
You'll be happy, right? Yeah, that was good. No, yeah. It's kind of like moving those success factors or something that's like more meaningful rather than like physical, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so I've had a couple ideas. The first thing was kind of like your typical D&D actual play, and then maybe some sort of like podcast behind the scenes, kind of like what we're doing now. And then just some fun shorts. Like it doesn't have to be cohesive. It's just random and fun and chaotic. And
is that separate? Okay, so is it like shorts cut from or separate shorts made from or made?
Both.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like literally whatever we want, because I think we have a decent number of friends who play D&D.
Yeah, of course.
And so if we can get some people together that have big personalities and they have a wacky character idea, like, then I feel like there's a lot of content to pull from.
Yeah,
we could do like a once a month recording, split that up into 4 videos.
Okay, yeah.
And then have shorts cut from those videos.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's pretty clear line, yeah.
And then just as things come up, I had an idea. I saw someone on Instagram do something similar, and so I don't really feel like I'm ripping off the idea, but like it's kind of an adjacent thing. But they were like doing a building character sort of video.
Oh, that's fun, yeah.
And so they do it to like create art, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
That's sick.
I'm not so much of an artist, but I really love coming up with character ideas.
Yeah.
Like I have hundreds of unused character ideas on D&D Beyond.
That's true.
And really, I just have fun making the characters. And so if there was like a short series where I'm like just rolling up characters, and it's like entirely random. Like I'm rolling dice. I set the parameters of like what the dice mean. And then it's like, okay, well I rolled a 20 for the level, right? And then I rolled a D12 for its class. And it's just like, hey, this is the character that you should play in your next one shot, whatever sort of thing.
That's really cool. I really like that, actually. That's really cool.
Thank you. So I can't take full credit for it, but like the idea kind of stemmed off of and grew a branch off of what another creator did. But I want to do just fun stuff that doesn't really need to fit into anything. It's not like a super serious series. And so like we're not in a studio. We're in my wife and I's home. Yeah. And this is where we often play D&D anyway. And then I was thinking, what would it be like to, instead of having like an ongoing campaign, to instead kind of just build out like, this is the super basic location that we're in. No crazy names or anything. No extensive lore to learn. Just like, this is a town. And we just have a bunch of one-shots here. And we can branch off. We can try other games. We can try different one-shot ideas. We can, because it's primarily one-shots, it's like we have flexibility to just do something like, oh, hey, today we're actually going to play Pathfinder. Right? Yeah. Or I actually went to the free RPG day at my local game store.
What do we got?
And so,
wow.
These are the old ones. This is actually the first one. Do you remember doing this?
I do remember. This is
the first D&D module we ever did.
First thing we did was burn down a forest.
That was crazy. As a first-time DM, that was insane, and I had no idea what to do. But it's like, here's Shift, the role-playing game.
Oh, wait, that sounds sick. Sorry, I'm gonna look through these real quick.
It's super cool. Like the dice changes size based off of your success and failure. It's
That's
really
so cool.
And so it's like we got Kobold Press, we got Ghostfire Games, we got Pathfinder. Like these are free modules that got pulled out. And so it's like we would have the flexibility, because we're not doing like a 2-year-long campaign, to be like, this time like we are going to sit down today and do Into the Living Sands by Ghostfire Games, because we want to. And whenever we just want to continue operating in our really minimalist homebrew world, then we can kind of just do one-shots off of that, based off of an idea that someone had and they want to run a game, or a couple of characters. I know that we had a Pathfinder game where we decided to abandon the campaign and all become goblins running a tavern.
That did happen. Greatest 3 sessions we've ever done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like a story like that, where we're 4 goblins running a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't need to be a campaign.
Yeah.
It's 3 sessions and it's fun, and hopefully the story concludes, right? But
yeah.
when I feel like when we try to make it this big thing, then there's all this added pressure, and there's like potential for scheduling issues and burnout. But it's like, if we're gonna sit down for 6 hours today, right? We'll take a lunch break, whatever, and we're gonna play 4 goblins in a tavern.
Yeah.
Right, and then that becomes the 3 or 4 episode arc, and then great, like that's the playlist. We're moving on to the next thing. And so there's a goblin tavern in this town. Like, great, awesome. We can just start with kind of like a blank slate, and then kind of build off of there. What are kind of, because I'm talking a lot, what are kind of your thoughts, your ideas about what I've mentioned so far?
I think that's really cool. Because I'm trying to like just think through like the processes of it, because that's how my mind works, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool. It allows us to keep things like super low stakes, so that nobody has to be stressed out. It also allows you to like, because it's all in the same town, you get to create lore for it, but it's also, is that like a wacky lore as opposed to the, all right, so there's a king and like he's ruining these townsfolk's life. It's like no, there's like 4 goblins that are like just absolutely terrorizing this part of the town because they're running a business. And they're new to the society. It's like, okay, so that's really, I like the idea of having that like lower stakes and allowing it to be like wackier. I forgot where I was going with that sentence, but that's my general idea.
And I'm open to ideas, to criticisms, whatever. Like I just want this to be fun. And I like that it's not like, here's the king and the queen comes from this country, and here's the king's lineage back 4 generations of history that you should know. Like, who cares? Like, I want to see people roll dice. I want to laugh with them, and I want to have fun.
Yeah, of course.
Especially on the weeks that my home game is canceled, right?
Yeah.
And especially on longer stretches where it's like, oh man, there's ongoing scheduling issues. I don't know when we're going to have D&D again. Then it's like, let me watch a whole set of playlists of content. But if I just want to watch one session, then I don't need to catch up on all that. I can just watch the one session.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And the tentative name that I texted you was the Dice Goblin Guild, which I think is kind of cool.
I actually really like it. You said when you sent me the list, I looked at that one. I was all like, if that was not taken, you kind of...
I should
probably get that one, but...
I had this weird gut instinct, which I don't often have, but sometimes I just feel really strongly about something. And I'm like, okay, well, the YouTube username can be changed twice every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let me see if it's available. It's available. Let me just do it.
Right? Yeah.
Like I have this feeling like I should just claim it. And so, sorry if someone out there was about to claim it, but... I felt really strongly about it, and then you texted me later, and you were like, "Wow, that kind of."
I'm pretty sure the words I said were, "That's kind of fire."
Yeah,
because it was kind of fire. I mean, I was like, okay, I like that one, especially for like the vibe you're going for, where it is just a bunch of, I don't have a better word for this. It's a bunch of idiots playing D&D.
Yeah,
it's like, it's got the vibe right. So I mean, to me, I liked it a lot.